So welcome to the Helix webinar series. Today's session, we're going to be covering product strategy and roadmap. This week, we're focusing on AI Ops. This is the second session. And for those that aren't aware, we did a session last week on service management. I will share out those links post-event. But today, we're going to be focusing on AI Ops. And joining me today is Yaron Front, our Director of Product Management, John Stevens, who are Principal Solutions Marketing Manager. And of course, we do have a guest who we're going to introduce very shortly. Before we do so, just a couple of reminders. The Q&A is available for you to put questions in during our session today. We will have roughly 10 minutes or so at the end where we will take questions live, but we will keep this interactive and answer the questions during. We will also be launching a poll very shortly, which I'll do after I hand over the reins. Just like to hear about where you are in your AI Ops journey. If you can fill that in during the session, that will be wonderful. And then we've got a few CTAs at the end, which Yaron will go through when we go through the agenda. So Yaron, I think it's perfect timing now to introduce Anuj, if you can move to the next slide. Anuj?
Yep. Thanks, Sam. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Anuj Gupta. I work as a principal product manager with BMC Helix and looks after our Helix AI Ops product line. So in my current role, I work with our customers like you to understand your product issues, the use cases that you're working on, and how can we partner with you to help you achieve the desired business outcomes. And internally, I work with the product engineering teams to prioritize those use cases and and work towards the execution, and then working with the cross-functional teams to deliver a unified and seamless user experience for our customers. So I'm very excited for today's webinar, where we want to showcase and discuss some of the upcoming product innovations that we're working on. Especially as we are embracing this, the new technology wave around the agentic AI and the AI agents that we're working on. Yeah, very excited. A lot of that for the second part of the session. But for now, I'll hand it over to Yaron to proceed forward. Yep.
Thank you very much, Anuj. So just before we start, so this is a brand new webinar series that we're doing. It's called the BMC Helix Ascent. And the reason why we're doing this is that we feel we want to share a little bit of our vision, a little bit of our roadmap for everything that we do at BMC Helix, be it in operations management or in service management, a little bit of our agentic vision, but in general, how do we see things? Where are we going in the future? And we're going to have quarterly webinars like this, so we encourage you to register for the next ones that we have. So the next ones are going to be on the 3rd of December, and we have a slide about that at the end, so you don't need to take notes. On the 3rd of December and the 10th of December, so we have one session for IT operations management and one session for IT service management. And like I said, it's mostly roadmap and looking forward. So we're going to talk a little bit about the road ahead, a little bit about innovation. Then at the end, we have a very short section for announcements and a little bit of Q&A. So let's talk a little bit about the road ahead. And just before I continue, I apologize if my voice sounds a little strange, but I've been losing my voice ever since this morning, and I'm talking to you now from beautiful, beautiful, very rainy Stockholm, where we're having our roadshow, which we're also going to mention at the end. So first of all, what are we trying to solve? So why are we even looking at advancing and having a long-term roadmap for AI ops using generative AI and agentic AI? Because what our customers are telling us, and this is what we as product managers know how to do the best, is we know how to listen. And what you've been telling us is that we have a challenge with skills gap. And what that means is that technology keeps getting more advanced and better, but that also means that you need to learn a lot of things. And it's becoming less and less realistic to have people who can really know all of the technologies that are out there so they can solve problems, fix problems, analyze incidents when they happen. So our customers, are constantly fighting a skills gap war where we always know that at the end of the day, technology and technology advancement is going to win. The second thing is system downtime. Maybe, 10, 15 years ago, it wasn't such a reliance, but today, systems cannot go down. Day-to-day life, everything that we do is dependent on the types of services that IT provides, either to the organization, to partners, or to customers. You cannot have system downtime, but you do get it. And so what do you do when that happens? How do you minimize MTTR, mean time to resolution? The next one is infrastructure complexity. Systems are getting more complex as technology advances. And by the way, technology advancement, according to every recent study that I've read, the velocity of change and the velocity of advancement is just increasing. So if a generational change used to take a decade, maybe 5 years, now you count it in single years. Who here remembers that the first time ChatGPT came on the scene was just 2 years ago, somewhere in 2023, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, John.
Yeah, it's about that. Yep. We like to
So-
say we were using large language models already, but yes, ChatGPT here at BMC Helix, but yes, ChatGPT really
look,
only hit the mark a couple of years ago in the big public sphere.
Yeah, I mean, anybody outside of our business, the heavy, like real heavy geeks didn't know what LLM and GPT was until 2 years ago. And look at where we are now, right? My uncle, who's 80 years old, is using Gemini. Okay. Who would have thought? He's having conversations with it. The next one is balancing cost and efficiency. So we're all expected to do more with less, and the demands of services keep going up, and you're supposed to stay either at the same resource levels or even less. And last one is just limited resources. There's a constant need for services, but there's never enough actual resources to do it. So this is where BMC Helix, that's where service and operations management come into the fold. So what are we actually talking about? So we're talking about taking two very distinct modalities, or two very distinct areas. One is operations management and the other one is service management. And what we do with what we call service ops is we bring operations management and service management together. And why do we do this? Well, these two modalities are very much related. I mean, if something goes wrong with a service, oftentimes, you don't want it to be that way, but oftentimes your first indication is going to be that your call center is getting multiple tickets opened because the service is down. So you start analyzing it from a service management perspective, but then you need to go in and actually find a root cause and fix the problem and understand what happened and how do I fix it. And that's where operations management comes in. And if you want to truly be able to have a concerted, unified effort that makes IT services available at the right service levels all the time, you need to bring these two together, and they need to speak the same language and they need to share information. Because if a ticket says that 3 months ago, I had a similar problem to the one that's affecting my users right now, and the resolution was XYZ. The operations people need to know that because it's probably going to work again today. And that's also where Agentic AI and GPT come in. Because if you want a machine to understand what the resolution was 3 months ago, you need it to be able to understand what's written in the ticket. And you need operations management and you need AI ops to find the root cause and also identify that it's the same problem that you had 3 months ago. And because we need to bring all of that information together, and I read an article recently and it said that, and it made a really good point. And it said, at the end of the day, if you look at it, if you bring it down to fundamentals, the outcomes you're going to get from any AI, right? Be it traditional AI, causal AI, GPT, generative AI, or agentic, the outcomes at the end of the day are very, very closely correlated to the breadth and depth of the information you feed in. And if you've got silos where service management on one side, operations management on the other side, you're not going to get as good outcomes. And that's why we defined BMC Helix as a company, as a platform, and as a provider of true service ops platform as open first. And that means that we can work with the different data sources. We don't actually really care which systems you're using for operations management, which systems you're using for service management, right? Yes, we have our own service management solution, but if you have somebody else's, that's fine. We can still get the information and bring it into our platform. And because we're able to be open first, we allow you to choose your AI models. We allow you to choose how to host the data. We allow you to have any enterprise architecture you want. And it all boils down to the same thing. We get all the information in so we can give you the best outcomes from your AI and agentic investment. Now, this is a really interesting view of how we see agentic taking service ops, or service and operations management forward. And I'll just share a story with you. I'm a product manager, so one of the things that's my responsibility is to always look into the future. So it's my job to try to predict what's going to happen in the future and make sure that our solutions meet your future needs, so meet our customers' future needs. But my work, my role, be it a very cool role, I get to play around with a lot of cool stuff, and I work with the people who are there and with the white coats in the labs and doing the cutting edge agentic stuff. There's another side to it. I have to be in a lot of meetings. I take a lot of notes. I summarize meetings. I follow action items. I have to write specifications. And that's, quite honest with you, not the most fun part, or not my favorite part of what I do. And if just to fill out that story, the most fun part of my job is what I'm doing right now, which is talking and in front of customers and trying to bring the message across. And so I'm spending a lot of my time doing tedious work and working on things that sometimes delay other things that could have more value, but I have to do them. The way we're envisioning the future state is truly enabling us as humans to unlock our potential. There are certain things that computers and AI and GPT and Agentic can do a lot better than we can. They can remember things for a lot longer. They can process huge amounts of information. GPT can summarize, translate, transcribe a lot better than I ever can. Other things, I'd like to think that I can do better. So I don't know how many of you would actually join a webinar like this and maybe use a Q&A here to ask questions if I were an agent. So if this session was given as an agent, or by an agent. And if you think about it, although I can go to Copilot or Gemini or ChatGPT now and ask, hey, what's the future of agentic AI in my market, in IT operations management? I'll get an answer, but that answer is not going to be anything original. It's going to be based on a lot of information it got from what other people think. But if I was entrusted with the responsibility to build new things, I'm going to think for myself. I'm going to use something that no GPT engine is ever going to have, which is creativity. So we want to shift people to do what they do best. And we want to leave the tedious, and our chief product officer, Ryan, sometimes says that the soul crushing work to somebody else. And that's going to be the GPT engine. And what's really cool about that is if you think about it, it's like having a force multiplier. So if I want to be innovating, if I want to be interacting with customers, if I want to go out and learn from you, our customers, how we can do better, I'll have a lot more time because I'm not going to have to sit there and write and transcribe and follow action items. I'm going to have an agent sitting next to me. And it's the same thing when you're talking about service and operations management. So no, agents are not coming after our job. They're just going to make us better, as they're going to help us focus on innovation, creativity, and doing what we do best, interacting with people and doing what we do. So when it comes to our open first, so we talked what open first is, agentic platform, we have 4 areas of expertise. We have service management, we have service and compliance, AI ops, and employee engagement. In today's session, and I'm going to turn it over to Anuj very soon, we're going to focus on AI ops. But if we look at this platform, being open first means that it's your AI and we don't charge you more for using it. It's your user interface. So when I want to call up John or Sam or Anuj and ask them a question, I go into Teams, even though we're in different continents, Australia, UK, Israel, and India, I can still go into one tool. It's called Teams. I talk to them, I text with them, we make phone calls. So if I want to talk to an agent, why should I use something else? Why should I learn a new UI? Why should I go into a form and fill out a request? Why can't I just open up Teams? So you can, and that's what we're doing at BMC Helix. Whatever you are used to using as an interface, as a user interface, you're going to be able to keep using that. The next is your choice of deployment. So you can deploy it in any SaaS provider that you feel comfortable with, but you can also deploy it on premises or in a hybrid environment or a private cloud. So we keep it as flexible as needed for you to be able to make the best choices that are right for you. And I was just in a session right now talking about this, the different deployments, and some companies actually have different deployments, so between on-prem and cloud in the same company, depending on the application. So it's really, really important when you select a solution to make sure that it does have the flexibility to deploy wherever you need it to deploy. So our set of agents, like I said, we have a full roster of agents, and these agents can work as a fleet of agents talking to each other. Now, that doesn't mean that they're dependent on each other. It just means that each of these can talk to any other agent, where each agent has a skill. And we also are building now the ability for external agents to be able to talk to our agents, and to have our agents talk to agents that come from other vendors, which is very important. But the other thing that I think is really interesting when you look at this specific diagram is that we match the skills of our agents to the personas that are supposed to be using them. So if you go out to the market today and you look at some other vendors, and other vendors of service management, so some of the leading ITSM or service management vendors out there today, or some IT operations management vendors, you'll see that they have many, many, many agents. And they have really, really elaborate licensing. So you can buy one at a time, or you can combine 3 or 4 from here, 4 or 5 from here, and then you get a different SKU or a different license. And honestly, it kind of defeats a point, because if you want these agents to help you to be a force multiplier and augment what we as humans do, and be as a very smart colleague, you want to be able to have them with you, collaborating and helping you. And if you have to now deal with dozens and dozens and dozens of agents, and try to think, well, if I buy this extra agent, I can now do this, and now I need a different license, instead of just taking all of them to work together to bring you the value that you need, you're going to get into trouble. So if there's one of the most important things that I'd love for everybody on this call today to walk away from here with, is that this is an open first platform, but it's also very, very simple, because you get everything that you need in order to get immediate value from our agents. So you deploy the agents and you start getting the value today. Plus, you have the flexibility of deployment. So if you want to deploy it on-prem, that's fine. You want to do cloud, that's fine too. It's the same software, the same agents. We just give you a choice. So like I said, the one that we're going to be focusing on today is AI Ops. So you see we have the different solutions here. We also have service management and asset, and asset and compliance, and employee engagement. I encourage you, there's going to be a link at the end. You can learn about each one of these areas later on. So just to sum up what we've been discussing, we do have a comprehensive strategy for agentic AI. We promote resilience and compliance. And with the agents that Anuj is going to be showing us in a minute, you can improve productivity and get better outcomes. And how do we do that? Well, Anuj, this is where you come in to show us how we get value from our roadmap and our innovation into the future. So Anuj, please.
Sure. Thanks, Ian. Hope everyone can hear me.
Absolutely.
So after that wonderful presentation of our BMC Helix strategy and vision, now let me take a few minutes of your time to take you to some of the key innovations and the upcoming product capabilities that we're working on around our agentic AI and our Helix AI Ops and Operations Management. Okay, so before I proceed, I want to share this legal notice that this is a confidential information and because this is a roadmap content, we are subject to change. But feel free to reach out to us if there are any questions, any comments, any other suggestions around this. Okay, so let me, before I introduce you to some of our innovations and stuff, let's take a couple of minutes on this one to really understand, our BMC Helix AIOps and what are the capabilities and what is it we are doing. So this slide here gives me a glimpse of anything and everything that we're doing in this area today, or we're going to invest further as well. So what it entails is an open observability. So we are, as Hiron mentioned, we are an agentic open first platform with open platform. What we mean is while we provide you the tools and agents to ingest the data, users can use the third party data as well and ingest into our platform. And in addition to the core observability areas around your logs, metrics, events, traces, and topology, we also augment that with the adjacent data from the incidents and changes and the knowledge base articles and vulnerabilities and all to further augment this. And that is what I'm going to showcase as well. Now, once we get all these data integrated onto our platform, with AI ops, one of the first thing that we do is we build an end-to-end service modeling. How do we map these systems, the CIs and the devices, and look at from a service-centric view now? How are our users going to interact with the applications, and then what are the underlying infra layer or the network layer that may be impacting or maybe servicing those applications? And we do that via our very innovative industry-leading blueprints-based approach, wherein there are out-of-the-box blueprints or what we call these dynamic templates to model these services. Excuse me. But we also allow customers to create their own custom blueprints as part of their application topology and the deployment. Now, once the services are modeled, now what do we do is we provide automated topology reconciliation of all the ingested data to these services, and in the backend, what we build is an AI knowledge graph, right, which maps all the assets, the topologies, interconnections, along with the associated data, be it your events data, logs data, metrics data, or everything contextualized and all stitched together. And then by leveraging these AI agents or the capabilities, we want to provide the causal AI, or what we call is how do we do the root cause analysis, or do the event correlations and noise reduction, the predictive AI piece wherein we want to do the anomaly detection. How can we prevent the service interruptions from not occurring? How do we do these, predict the service health indicators and make sure that the service outages do not occur? Coupled with it is the generative and the agentic AI, wherein we leverage these domain-specific large language models and further augmented with and fine-tune it with the customer-specific tenants data that they are using to provide them a lot more contextual summary of the data, insights, and the recommendations, right? And with that, we also let users do the automation with the internal or the external tools, as well as engage with the ITSM tools, be it our BMC Helix, ITSM, or the other third-party tools to be able to create incidents or to get the contextual incidents or changes as part of the different capabilities, like a best action recommendation that I'm going to discuss. So in general, in essence, what we want to do is how do we increase the operational intelligence and realize value quickly with the AI-driven operations management with HelixGPT. So moving on, the first capability that we have is our BMC Helix Insight Finder, which is part of our business intelligence and Helix dashboards. So far, what we have been doing is whenever there is a BI analyst or a developer who is looking at gets our business requirement, then he tries to map certain visualizations, looks at the underlying data, builds the queries, and then builds a dashboards. In short, you take 2 weeks to 4 weeks to a month to get a dashboard or a report created, right? And what we are essentially doing with the Insight Finder is how, in context of your problem, in context of your service, in context of your data, how can we create this? How can we query Helix GPT and create on-the-fly visualizations as we are looking at the data? So, for example, if I have to create, show me the list of critical events impacting my Epix banking service for the last 7 days. So immediately the Insight Finder will query the Helix, the Insight Finder Helix GPT will query the Helix platform, look at the look at the context, and get you the required visualization. Similarly, you can ask a bunch of other questions based on your analysis. You save it, and share it with your peers, with your stakeholders, or for future purposes, and your dashboard is ready. All with very innovative conversational experience. So this capability is already available. We do have plans to iterate and bring in some more dimensions. But even with the last general available release, this is available. We urge you to try this capability and provide us the feedback on this one. Next key capability that we are working on is a change risk advisor. So, changes is one of the key dimensions that you are using in your environment as part of our overall service ops strategy as well. And studies have also shown that a lot of production outages can be traced. In fact, more than 60 to 70% of the production outages can be traced to a change that has been deployed, be it a network change or a new resource added or new resource deleted or any kind of change in your environment. And hence, how do we analyze these changes? And that is where any change which is in draft, any change which is not yet approved, is yet to be scheduled. We look at those changes, we assess the risk level for the change, look at the contextual operations data and the ticketing data to say if a change is on a CI on a service, what is the health of the current service, what are the health indicators that are going to get impacted, what are the open situations on there, likewise what are the open incidents currently on that service or that CI, or the similar past changes that have done and their performance. Based on this exhaustive cumulative summary, we provide you with this insights and the recommendations, which tells us whether this change is good to be executed, or do we defer this, or we do these steps first before we can execute it. And that is the power this changes advisor brings to us. So this feature is already available today with our Helix ITSM change management thing. You can try it out. It is available in AIOps in an early preview thing, and we are now extending it with the other ITSM tools like the ServiceNow and the Jira. Okay, so I think if there are any further feedback, any other suggestions, we are open to design partnerships on some of these capabilities as well. Next in the line is our service mapper agent. So, as I mentioned at the start of my presentation, is once we bring in the data, we create this end-to-end service modeling. Today, we already provide these dynamic templates or the blueprints to create the service. But with service mapper agent, we want to take the game a notch up here. How about the agent automatically detecting your underlying CIs and the relationships and be able to create the technical services automatically, so that as a business owner, all I'm left is to bring together all these technical services together without creating them there, and then my service is ready. I'm ready to monitor the health of my business service. So and the benefit we get is that from a time to value perspective, rather than spending hours and more to define these these technical services, create relationships and everything, let the agent do its job. And as part of this, we are going to leverage the existing blueprints, add more blueprints, but wants to make sure that the technical services are already discovered, and then the as the operator, you get to focus more on the other pieces, which is troubleshooting the business services and not focusing on these admin and configuration activities. So I think this is really going to help us from an AIOps adoption, and we are looking forward to again having more suggestions or any feedback on this capability. Next piece that we have been working, I think, for over the last 6 months now already, and this is available in some shape and form, is a best action planner. So what it means is that it is as part of your situations, we provide the situation summarization, we do the root cause analysis, and we do a best action recommendations. I think most of you, or at least some of you, may have tried that already today. Now, what we are doing is we are extending the best action planner with a couple of things to make sure that it is really is a precise, contextual, actionable plan. So, so some of the things like deep root cause analysis. So, based on the initial incidents, initial metrics and events data, we provide you, hey, these are the set of events which form these situations, and this particular event is the root cause event, and rest of them are symptom events. But now with deep root cause analysis, we also look at the adjacent data. We will analyze the contextual changes. We will analyze the contextual logs also to see if they pinpoint to something else. If there's a new information, if there's a new new dimension added there, we would review that. The deep RC agent will auto reason it out and auto updates our root cause analysis to say that, hey, because of this particular change which got deployed there, and hence these set of events were raised, and hence this particular change event is really the root cause of the problem. So that is one piece that we're doing. And other piece is from a best action recommendations that we provide today, leveraging the incident resolution notes. We want to extend that to also look at the incident work logs. What is the different users or the any work logs say anything different, or the associated knowledge base articles with that incident. So we want HelixGPT will summarize, refer all these associated incidents and their knowledge base articles, and provide a more contextual recommendations of the problem, of the situation. And the third piece, which is around executing the remediation steps. So that is where we want to make it a lot more interactive. Helix Best Action Planner will suggest you these recommendation steps, and then users can act on that and provide us a feedback whether that that particular step worked for them or not, and then how can we course correct, and that is where HelixGPT can provide you the next set of actions based on the input or the feedback that is provided by the user. So in general, we want to make this a lot more contextual and provide a more 360-degree view of how we do the root cause analysis and how do we take automated actions to remediate those problems. The next piece on the list is the operations analyzer agent. This is coming from our from the area of our server automation and compliance. Another very useful, interesting thing. We traditionally we this is a very boring job to do these patch upgrades on a server, manage and maintain the list of the services, or managing why a particular upgrade did not happen, or which were the targets that were missed, and whatnot. All of that, we want to do it now from a single, unified, and simple chat interface again, wherein we are going to leverage the operations analyzer agent and the HelixGPT to make this automation and the patching job easier. To how do we make sure that we are compliant before the next target and all. So as an example, for example, you can if you query the the operations analyzer agent, for example, how many of my patch targets are successful, or how many of them required a reboot, for example, and then it will tell you that, hey, out of this many things, it will process the underlying data and give you the result. And then you can further ask questions like what were the servers that missed upgraded a given patch, for example, and then it will give you all these different list of servers and everything. And you can also ask questions, for example, is show me the servers which are non-compliant with our with my CIS benchmark compliance, and the reason for that. And then you can also check before my next compliance, before my next audit, what is my compliance level today, and what are the additional steps that I need to do to be able to compliant 100% or 90% for that matter. So all of that, I mean, which users have to do it manually, manage it. Where we are leveraging the agentic AI capability to provide us and make this whole experience, I think, a lot more easier. Easier is but at the same time a lot more exciting. Now you can do this very quickly, and it makes the job quite exciting. So I think this is really going to help us in our automation and compliance area. Next piece of innovation is around the capacity optimizer agent, right? So far with AIOps, with operations management, we are talking about what is the current problems happening, how do I make sure my application, my service is up and running. But with capacity optimizer, what we want to also make sure is how do we ensure that it is working now as well as in future and always running. So what are the optimizations I should be doing to make sure that my application is not overutilized or underutilized? Can I free up my resources? Or if my number of users double down over the next 3 to 6 months to a year, what are the whether do I need to expand on my capacity, or is there a way to optimize it? So in general, it will tell me what is my current actual cost, what is my projected cost, and what is the kind of cost savings I can save if I do these optimizations. So I think pretty cool, pretty exciting, especially as we are seeing a overload of the data, overload of the decreasing budgets, yet increasing pressures there. I think this particular agent especially is going to be very super complementary to our AIOps capabilities and help us from a service assurance and optimization perspective. Next agent that we have is around our data ingestion and observability piece. So we have these different connectors that we configure and collect the data. So far we let users configure, hey, the frequency of, do you want to collect every 5 minutes, every 30 minutes, or a few seconds, right? But what if you get that intelligence that, hey, if my service is critical, there's a production outage there's a critical alert there. How do I adaptively change the frequency of data collection and be able to get let's say increase it from 5 minutes to every 2 minutes, or even every 30 seconds there, to be able to get more data points, more underlying metrics, not just the KPIs, but the metrics that we can feed into the AI for it to process and provide us a more meaningful analysis. At the same time, providing us, making sure that it does not really put a lot of pressure on the system, hardware and the resources, making sure that all this, fine tuning or auto, increasing the frequency of the collection doesn't put a load there. So I think this is really going to be very super useful for us in terms of providing a lot more data points when it is needed, and going back to the previous state, going back to the stuff when the issue has been resolved, when the situation has been closed, for that matter. I think the adaptive intelligence that it provides, the granularity of data that it provides, goes a long way in making sure that the AI can do a lot more precise root cause analysis with a lot more data, and making sure that your application is up and running without any impact. as well. So I think this is still under POC, but we are open to design partnerships as well. If you have any further suggestions or ideas around this capability. Next is our ops farmer capability. I think some of you may have already seen it or tried it. This is already generally available today in AIOps, leveraging our Helix ITSM, or even with the service now as well. So what we do today is we bring the incident analysis or the change analysis or the ops analysis all within that collaboration agent or the MS Teams interface within. So we don't let users go to a UI or a bunch of UIs, rather bring all that data in and for the users to collaborate in the interface that they're looking at, be it an MS Teams or in future any other interface. So all of that data is packed together. And now what we are doing as well is to extend it further with, can we provide you generate a timeline or the sequence of events of what happened when there, or if there's a knock bridge that has been there by there, how do we summarize that voice call and be able to provide the actions items and what needs to be done next as a way to troubleshoot this. So this coupled with the troubleshooting and the service root cause analysis, I think it is going to be super useful to without letting users go anywhere else, but stay focused and collaborate within the confines of their MS Teams interface, wherein they are talking with their other stakeholders. So I think Ops Format is going to be a very fundamental game-changing service ops interface for us to bring it all of these capabilities that I've been talking about, which are already there in the product, right into the interface without the worry of clicking this piece or that piece or going to that UI or this UI, right? So yeah, I think this is really cool. And the last piece that I want to talk about for today is around our Agentic Studio. So what we have shared is a bunch of events. What Yaren shared earlier was some more agents that are available today or something that we're working on. But this is not the limit. We want to enable our users, our community, to be able to create their own AI agents, custom AI agents, or leverage these existing agents to enable agentic innovation. So be it the Agent Studio enables some no-code agent extensions and be able to do custom agent creation. It also allows you to it also allows the teams and the users to integrate these agents, customize these agents into their systems and processes there. It will also enable them to even create workflows and enhance these processes there. How about leveraging the output, for example, of one agent and feed it into another agent, or bring these multiple agents in whatever way to solve that capability, right? And the best part is all of this is all integrated into your applications, onto your data, so that you can get this real-time feedback of how is the agent performance looking like, is it doing the required intended purpose, and then be able to fine-tune it as well. So I have got this, a little video that I wanted to play there, but in the interest of time, I would, anyways, this is there as part of the tag. I would urge you to, refer this offline, and again, provide us any further feedback here. So, I mean, that brings us to the end of our innovations, but this is not all. I think stay tuned for more innovations during our next set of webinars there. But for now, I'll hand it over to Sam to take us forward.
Thank you, Anuj. So yes, just a few plugs before we go to the Q&A. I can see there's questions coming in, and I'm also going to just quickly start unmuting people because I have a habit of forgetting. For those that have gone to the road shows, that hopefully you've really experienced things in the real time and actually met with some of our product managers. We do still have quite a few road shows that are going to be going ahead, and obviously Jeroen did mention earlier that he's actually in Stockholm as we speak. Next week we will be in Sao Paulo, so if we do have any of our LATAM customers on here today or partners, that's definitely one not to miss on the 16th. And then we will be taking it right through to November the 20th, which is when we finish with Frankfurt. And again, we also have New York. New York's likely to be our biggest flagship event, just purely because of numbers and amount of customers we've got. Some of us will be hopefully being there as well, so we can meet you in person. So I will send out the link for you to sign up for this. Don't worry about taking any details now. The other thing I do want to mention as well, we do work very closely with Gartner, something that's really important for our product managers, and also BMC Helix as a company is getting reviews. So if you can move to the next slide, Anuj, we've got some QR codes.
So yeah.
It's okay. We have different ones. So the one that's most appropriate for here today, you've got the AIOps platform one, you've also got the observability. Those two links and QR codes are relevant. We will share out the slides. So if you want to do it in the formal way with the URL, we'll send that. Again, actually, you're on, seeing as I've just seen you appear back. I don't know if you want to mention anything about Gartner and how we work with them and Trust Radius.
Actually, I think you covered most of it. I mean, it's important for us, and you can get a $25 coupon, and you can even participate 3 times. So, yeah, we encourage people to share their opinion.
Yeah, and it's obviously industry standards. We don't get involved in the gift cards. It's directly if it's published by Gartner. So we'd love to get your feedback. For those that have already been to the road shows, we were also showcasing it there, and I know quite a few people had filled it in. So for those that are interested in also education, I actually work in the Helix learning team, which is part of customer success. There's quite a lot of information on here. I'm not going to read it all, but we do have web-based training. We also have ILT, which is instructor-led. There is a 15% discount that you can see at the top. If you are interested in taking courses, these are the ones that are most relevant. And actually where you see the titles, they are hyperlinked. It's just because it's a blue slide, I've had to put it in white. We will share those links out for you if you're interested in taking up a subscription. Yeah, next slide. So more importantly, the final announcement is the Agentic Ascent, which we renamed actually Ascent. We're going to be doing the next session, as Jeroen mentioned at the start. That will be the 3rd of December, which will be the service management, and then the ITOM space or AIOps will be the week after, which is on the 10th. We run 2 sessions for each. So if you have got colleagues in APAC, please share the link. The same registration you use for today's session, that link will still be live for you to sign up to the December sessions. So if you haven't already, I will reshare that link. And then the other 2 webinars that you can see on here for the 24th and the 30th, I'm working with Jeroen and our professional services team that are going to focus on how to get the value. So we would love to see you at those other webinars as well. And then if you're looking at just in general where all our webinars are, that was on the previous one, the QR code. Sorry, Anuj, I should have said stay. That QR code will take you to where all of our webinar sessions are hosted. For these particular ones, because they're invite only, it will be a shared link purely to those that come to these sessions. So I will be sharing that out in the next 24, 48 hours. Okay, I think that kindly brings us on to the Q&A, and I can see John is actually answering a question. John, just because you've been very quiet, would love to hear you answer that one live, and we can obviously follow up on the Q&A later, but I can see there's a question if you want to just take that live for me, because it's anonymous.
There's a couple. Yeah, we've had a couple of questions actually. Let me just move my microphone closer. So the first was whether the agents are included automatically with the current licenses, or if you have to buy agent by agent. And I'm very happy to say these. One of the big things we're doing to differentiate BMC Helix from the competition is we are not regarding this as a specific upsell. You don't have to buy a SKU that gives you the access to the AI agents that we've talked about. Unlike most of the market where it's often sort of 50% plus upsell. So essentially the standard tier license comes with some of the agents, in particular Employee Navigator and Insight Finder, so 2 very high value ones, by the way. And then if you have the advanced suite for ITSM or AIOps, then you're getting the full set of agents. So it's very much we are adding this to the existing price the existing license structures at, rather than making you have to kind of justify a business case to your employers and your companies to say, hey, we've got this contract with this ITSM and this AIOps vendor, and now they want another large uplift just to access AI. It comes with the standard license tier, so that's a big positive, I think, for BMC Helix customers. The other question was about the upgrades. It's probably good to answer this verbally because I'm not 100% sure if this. I'm just trying to interpret this. The question was, how will it help in upgrades? For example, if there was a BMC Helix upgrade to latest version, how the AI agents can be used. If the question means, do you get the agents as you upgrade to the versions that they're coming out with, then yes. I mean, this is just something that rolls out as standard parts of the BMC Helix applications. If it's a question that are the agents directly helping with the upgrade process, I mean, we've done a huge amount of work to make the upgrades easier. The AI agents themselves are more designed for operational purposes, but obviously we have a lot of tools to, especially with containerized architecture, upgrades are a lot easier than they've ever been before. So that's not been the primary focus of our AI agents, but it's still been a big focus for us.
Anuj,
Okay.
you wanted to add something?
Yeah, so John, this is also as we were talking about our server automation operations analyzer agent, wherein we are talking about how do we upgrade the servers and everything. So in that respect, there's an interesting question. The question is, now can we drink our own champagne? Can we use the same agents to even upgrade our own applications? I think interesting question. Something that we would like to try and experiment as well on our applications. Right now, it is specifically on the server patchings and the server upgrades. But yes, why not? I mean, why not if to even help our customers upgrade our BMC Helix upgrades as well on the different servers and the systems.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, one of the things we haven't talked about today, but we talked about last week, is the Agent Studio, which is basically the designer for your own AI agents, and it has access to all these amazing tools that understand the data in the system and the like. So there's nothing. I mean, it could certainly be very possible to build, just by building the prompts, an AI agent that can query the data you have and the structure and things.
Absolutely.
And we would probably be able to get into the overlays and things if you've created custom overlays, but I'll have to look into that. It's a great idea. The platform can certainly support that use case. But as I say, the focus we've had on upgrades, making upgrades better, has been elsewhere. It's been in the containerized architecture, the smooth, seamless upgrade process, zero downtime upgrades. So a lot of that's already been a major investment focus for us. And then when you get to those versions, you get the agents that we're talking about on the roadmap.
Okay.
Thanks. And we have another question, actually. Chad, I don't know if you want to come off mute. I did see when I started unlocking everyone to speak, you did come off mute. Can you hear us? Don't know if you've got audio. Oh, that's so disappointing. I think you may have come through via the browser, which doesn't always enable people's audio. While we'll see if Chad can get his audio back, question he had was, could you please confirm whether your solutions are developed to operate with DoD secured networks?
So that would be Department of Defense, I imagine.
Chad, if you want to reply back, he is replying in the chat. I'm assuming so. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, we have to get the specific details of the question. But when we certainly have a lot of certifications around DoD and FedRAMP and a number of those things, because we have a lot of customers in those spaces. And interestingly, of course, we're about the only vendor who can do agentic AI for an on-prem instance. Yeah. So good place, but obviously I'm always a little cautious about answering in specific detail about things as sensitive as DoD certification. We have a lot of customers. We certainly have certification. I would suggest contact your usual representative to get the specific details of your question.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any more questions? Just a quick reminder, I did put the survey out. I know quite a few of you or many people have tried to drop now because they've got to get onto other meetings, but we do have quite a few responses in the poll. certainly there is an interest in our other products. So I will follow up with those that have filled in our poll. If you haven't already, I'll just leave it open for a minute or so if you just want to fill that in. We are taking that data only for our own purposes, just really to connect you to maybe different people in the organisation, but also it gives us an idea of what content we should be putting into the webinars. So it's only used for our purpose. Deves, I see your hand is on
Yeah,
asking a
Samantha.
question. You can hear
Yes.
us. Hey.
Perfect. Yeah, I can hear you. You can hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. I just have one question. Like, I was just when I was hearing Ankit, I think what was been told is that the existing ITSM products are also being getting integrated, right? Like, especially from the other than Helix, like ServiceNow and Jira. But if in case somebody is using like say BHMO and they have that integration is only limited to from the ITSM perspective, how are we is it something which needs to be get done from the team who's managing the product, or it can be done or we have to reach out to you guys to enable the feature of all that capabilities which we wanted to leverage for the agentic AI?
Yeah, so Devesh, sorry, if you can just repeat, what is it particular tool that you were referring to
So
as
right
an
now it is
example?
Jira. It's Jira.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So now there isn't any such integration exists where we can actually have the data to be seen from the agentic AI. What particular stuffs which we need to do? Should we reach out to you? What are the things which we need to do? And I can take it offline also. I don't have
No,
don't have to answer this now.
sure. No, just to update you. So what we are doing is we are leveraging the Jira tool, let's say the incidents from Jira or the changes from Jira, and
Mhm.
bringing it onto our operations management platform, and then
Mhm.
analyzing those changes and incidents to drive the operations management to see how can we even create incidents in Jira as well as process the contextual data from Jira to augment the root cause analysis or to provide the best action recommendations today. Okay, so Jira piece is still some piece of it is available, but this is something which is still work in progress. It is on roadmap. Yeah, but feel free to reach out to us separately, and we can have a lot more deeper conversations on this topic as well.
Okay, perfect. So at this moment, it is still in a pipeline, right? Like sort of a thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I just add as well for the AI platform we have, and we've talked about this being open first. It can connect to other systems. It's literally designed to be able to connect to other systems and build that into the AI workflows that it's running, and it can do that without having to migrate all that data into a large language model. Again, a big differentiator for BMC Helix. So we often talk about if for example you have Splunk or Dynatrace, or if you've got Workday for HR things or Oracle for whatever, then the platform is designed to just be able to connect to those things, go and pull, build prompts that can incorporate data, findings, insights from those tools and build them. So we have customers who are using BMC Helix's agentic AI overlaid over products like ServiceNow, over products like Atlassian, because taking something like Employee Navigator, it's the best AI agent for employee support in service management in my view, and obviously in the view of some of these customers too. So it is architected to be incredibly open. Again, the details we would be able to set out, I think, one-to-one with you if you want to kind of follow up on this. But absolutely, this is the whole point of open first. We don't expect any single company to have a single product ecosystem across all the different use cases that are incredibly valid to service and operations management. So rather than making some monolithic proprietary large language model that it isn't going to get from the benefits of all the advances from the likes of OpenAI and Google and the price drops from those companies, but also will pull over all this data into one place where your data sensitive team, your data security teams are going to object anyway. We've architected this so it can do what you need it to across multiple systems.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you so much. Thanks for the detail.
Great question, thank you. And I can see we've got a few more hand raises. So Alejandro, I saw you were next in line. Do you want to come off mute?
Yeah, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. Always interesting. I just wanted to confirm that my understanding was the right one. So if we want to buy those AI agents, there are basically two ways of doing it. We have two agents included in the standard suite, and then all the others are included in the advanced suite. Is my understanding correct? Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So it's a similar model in the past. For example, obviously digital workplace. For example, if you have the advanced suite, you get all the full capabilities of digital workplace, and if you have the standard package, then there's certain capabilities. So the big point I wanted to get across is this is not something we're asking you to go and buy an AI agent SKU for, which most vendors are. We see this as a natural progression in service and operations management. Is the big advance. Why would we gatekeep that and our customers not getting the benefit of our products and our investment? That would make no sense, and it doesn't help our customers. So, and one of the reasons we've been able to do that is because we're not trying to build this massive monolithic proprietary BMC Helix large language model. The open first approach includes the ability to work with your own LLM provider as the kind of AI backbone. Benefits of that are massive. They're dropping their prices hugely. Sam Altman's talking about 10 times cheaper year on year for equivalent compute, which is outpacing Moore's law, anything Moore's law ever did. So you get the cost benefits of that, and we get the cost benefits of that. We haven't buried ourselves in a very expensive model of doing things that they're now passing on to customers. And the benefit of that is we can include this as part of our standard capabilities. We don't have to recoup bad investment in a bad architecture. And without any specific names, a lot of vendors out there have got themselves painted into that corner. So yeah, it's a much better approach. It's much more open. It gives much more interoperability. It keeps your data security teams much happier because you're in full control, and it's cheaper, so we get to include it better. So we are very excited about having gone this way, as you can probably hear.
Okay, thank you very much, Jean.
Thank you. And then Michael, I can see you've got your hand raised.
Good morning, Kramer.
Hey, good morning.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Yourself?
I'm outstanding. So Kramer and I, old friends, we talk often.
Yeah, so my question's coming from a capacity planner perspective, right? So we only use the continuous optimization part of the suite. Does that affect which AI agents that we'll be able to use? Like we don't use Helix for any of the ITSM stuff, but being able to connect to ServiceNow and find out what changes have occurred and enrich our capacity plans with those events would be very helpful in data visualization type stuff for our customers.
So you're absolutely able to do that. I mean, I think that both Anuja and John talked about it before. We are agnostic to which ITSM you have. Okay. And our agents know how to talk to it. They know how to get the data and augment it. You obviously have the capacity optimizer agent, which is very relevant to what we're talking about. But things like what we call the Insight Finder, which is our conversational interface to build dashboards and reports. So all of these are relevant regardless of what other solutions you use from BMC Helix.
Okay, cool. I'll just, I guess, tug from my little corner and pull in as much as I can.
That's what it is.